I don't know if ChatGPT knows or sees something that I don't know, but I don't know how the heck. Whoa, look at that. Sure am enjoying myself. Alright, get ourselves a later start to the day today. We're kind of sitting around with the family and figuring out what our plans for the weekend were going to be, and kind of worked out where if I was going to do this, I better do this right now. So not the normal get up at sunrise and go take a ride, but we're going to go and battle sunset today. I did something a little different this time. I told ChatGPT what I had in mind for a route, and I asked it what it thought. I asked it for timelines, and had it kind of piece something together for me, and I'll be curious to see if it's actually a good route. I was able to kind of tell it my expectations, and it knows about the bike, and we'll see how well it did. So we're going to start off today up at Pine Mountain, which is out that way, and that might kind of be the kickoff of our off-road section, and from there we'll head out towards Post, and once we get to Post, then it should take us off over there towards Painted Hill. So get a little mix today of some road and some off-road, some views, and here we go. Let's see how we do. On the other side of Pine Mountain over here, man, it's always pretty. Right inside this little gate here, you can drive down there, and there's a little opening. I think that some of the ranchers will put kind of water pools and things like that for their cows, but we actually taught our boys how to ride their bikes right in there, out in that opening. Even when they had training wheels and we were trying to get them going on the bikes. I don't know why I thought it was a decent idea to bring them in there with training wheels, because the actual tire of the bike would just come off the ground and then they'd just be spinning their wheels. It was long, and I could feel this bag coming up my ass here. Huh. Let's see, shook itself loose. Alright, I think it's happy. So here we are now on the backside of Pine Mountain. This is kind of where ChatGPT had us starting the route off. Now, to be fair, the route that ChatGPT had us doing was actually going up the front side of it. It wasn't us going up this backside here. But then again, the top of the mountain's over here on the backside. So I kind of was thinking maybe it's a wash when it comes to time. Because even though we're driving around the bottom of the mountain, it's going to take us longer to get going on the trails itself. There's a good chance that we're breaking even here on time, because we're already going to be at the backside. Here we go. Choosing to come up the backside of Pine Mountain here was not what ChatGPT wanted me to do. And this might be the human in me, but I think that right from the start, I might have sent this entire itinerary for the rest of the day into a tailspin. One of the cool things about this area is that for it just being kind of like one butte, there's trails all over it. So you could really, if you wanted, just spend hours up here driving along all these different ridges and everything that come throughout this mountain. You can see up there the big domes for the telescope things. That's cool. In an attempt to still honor the ChatGPT itinerary, I came out to this leg here. I was calling it my summit, and it was kind of just wanting me to come up here, knock out this scene really quick, and then get back on the bike to go. So, well, here I went, 10 seconds on top of the mountain, back on my way. Yeah, seriously, that was it. I was feeling the pressure here, definitely feeling like I was getting behind, and I needed to just get this done and get out of here. In all fairness, at the end of the day here, ChatGPT, it did tell me that I'm not able to dilly-dally. I have to just come up here from the front side of the mountain, go up to the top. It even gave me some instructions on how to do the drone shot, so that you're up here for 10 or 20 minutes and then you're back on the road onto your adventure. Kind of cool. Maybe next time I'll have to try and really follow its itinerary to a T and just see how cool of a video it makes. If I had listened to ChatGPT and just come in here off of the highway, I definitely think that I'd be running about a half hour, at least a half hour faster right now. Now, I wanted to have gotten to go and see that big view where you have to drive up all the softballs back there, and that's a pretty cool sight to see. Wow. I wish that I could just click and zoom in on my camera right now, because you can just see all Three Sisters. There's Mount Bachelor. You got Mount Jefferson up there. You got Three Finger Jack there. Black Butte. Wow. Super pretty. I got back into service over here and I was able to give ChatGPT a quick update. It agreed that we needed to recalibrate, so it wrote up a new route for us. I tossed it into Gaia, updated some maps a little bit, and we were on our way. Seems to be acknowledging that we don't have time to do all the things that it had originally planned. Seems to have shifted the game plan a little bit. They're spitting out right next to that old Milliken store over there. Actually, I think this entire town's for sale. But it seems to think that we're going to be okay. So, got everything tied down. You are certainly out here. Life is good, yeah. Life is good, yeah. Yeah, in my darkest times, you got me feeling like I've been walking on air. Left all my worries and cares. Now at this point here, we had arrived in Brothers, Oregon. I had never been out off-road over here before, so I was really looking forward to what was up ahead. I knew that I was going to be in for some nice rolling hills, some big wide open views, and a little desert riding. Headed towards the Ochoco Mountains, I was pretty pumped. Looking forward to what's up ahead, and here we go. My darkest times, you got me feeling like life is good, yeah. Life is good, yeah. Yeah, in my darkest times, you got me feeling like. Let's see. Camp Creek Road. All right. Oh no, that's Pringle Flat Road. Alright, so if that's Pringle Flat, that's something over there, And that's something over there. Pringle Flat. Are we still called Pringle Flat? Nope. That's called Bear Creek. Alright, well, I do think it says something about that Bear Creek too, so. Very smooth road. This is cool. It's definitely starting to get hilly out here. Nice choice so far, ChatGPT. I can feel that I was feeding my dog this morning and I threw out my back feeding him. Just, I don't know what I did. I leaned down to go get him some food, and all of a sudden I couldn't get back up again. I was like, oh shoot, this is gonna really suck for a day when I'm supposed to go out on the bike. I can feel it. I mean, it's a lot better than it was before, but you know you're starting to get old when you throw your back out just trying to feed your dog. Alright, Camp Creek, Bear Creek. I think we take Bear Creek at this moment, which, to be fair, I do think that ChatGPT brought that up at some point, but certainly not on the most recent. It definitely didn't bring it up on one of the most recent write-ups. Alright, so Antelope Reservoir. Since Brendan doesn't have a phone mount or ChatGPT, hey, look at that little bird feeder. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Let me hit pause on this. Oh yeah, it's quiet. It's just me and that cow. Here we go. Now it looks like we're gonna get to see what that stuff on the mountain up there is. Look at all these cows just stopped looking at me. Man, that's how you know that you're out here. When you're catching all the cows' attention. Boo! If this was closer to town, those cows wouldn't even care. They're like, what on earth? We've only seen one person ever in our life. And that was 10 years ago. I would have never known that this road was here. Alright, ChatGPT so far has been wrong as far as that road goes. I don't remember seeing any mention of that anywhere. So I think that it's doing a decent job so far at giving the 30,000 foot view, but when it comes down to the details, you need to make sure that you're clocking the route yourself. Pretty the way that this creek is just kind of meandering through here. Ochoco National Forest. It's funny, that sign came up at the perfect time because I was actually just about to talk about how this is one of the things that I really love about this Ochoco National Forest out here. It's just the way that you can just see through the forest in here. It's so pretty. It's very there's still a lot of room for grasses. You get a lot of these cool creeks kind of coming through these little gullies down there. Wow, looks like there's all different kind of things you can explore up here. Ah, that's neutral. Cool. Check that out. Wow. Wow. I keep turning the camera off and then I keep coming around these corners and it's like, oh god, look how pretty that is. I have to turn the camera back on again. Well, we just spit out the other side of the mountains here and it dropped out real quick. It changed real fast. So we were literally just in that nice.
We were starting to reach this point of the day where I didn't know how things were going to end. My camera was dying right here. My batteries were all starting to go out. I don't know where the heck I am, and I don't know if we're going to make it where we need to be. Like, what? There's not even anywhere to really pull off here. I was starting to kind of doubt what was going to happen. All right. It all worked out and was pretty peaceful.
Had a chance to eat a little bit. Look how pretty that view is. I really didn't know where the heck I was, so I pretty much just pulled over on the side of the road. But while I was doing that, I did pull up my Gaia and went to go see how to get over to Painted Hills from here. And I don't know if ChatGPT knows or sees something that I don't know, but I don't know how the heck. It's 3 o'clock. I didn't dilly-dally at all during that stop, during this last section. And I don't know why ChatGPT is telling me that we're going to be able to make it there in what, an hour? I just don't see it. I don't have any service right now, so that's the other downside. Because I'm not able to have a conversation with it to kind of update it on where I am and what my concerns are. Alright, we got the post store. Looks like there's at least a gas sign. Good thing I made it here before 5, because I would have been out of gas. I mean, I probably would have been able to make it back to Prineville, but I am much closer to Prineville than I am to Painted Hills. So fortunately, ChatGPT did give me a backup for if I was going to run out of time. And I think before it had an idea for me to go straight through the mountains, but then it did give me a little bit of an idea of what it had in mind if we weren't going to make it time-wise. So that's cool. I still had to piece together what I think might be the best route there, but it did give me an estimate that, you know, it expects things to take about an hour and 20 minutes to get there. So before 40, you know, I'd be missing the sunset, I believe. Also, not entirely sure if it's talking about having me. You know, I don't know what route it had in mind for that time frame. But, wow, this is really pretty. Still glad it sent us out here. And I do think that I found a route that, I don't know, we'll just kind of watch the clock and watch the route and see how it all goes. We're off. Still got some color on that tree. Whoa, look at that. Ha! Wow, that's a pretty feature. Holy cow. Alright, that was pretty. I might not be at the Painted Hills right now, but I sure am enjoying myself. Look at this house. It's like it crawled right towards the road. Huh. Oh, I ended up where I did not mean to end up. I'm all the way back in Prineville.
You know, despite having royally messed this thing up in a number of ways, one great thing was that ChatGPT, it really is flexible, and it really knew where I was and put together a great plan for how to salvage the remaining like 30 minutes of this day.
All right, so I threw into ChatGPT and I said, "Hey man, what happened? We're here. It's 3:55 right now. We're in Prineville," and it was kind of neat. It kind of threw in, started going, "Okay, well, we obviously aren't going to make it to Painted Hills anymore, so we need a game plan." And it started thinking up this backup plan that could kind of look cinematic and cool with the sunset. So I kind of know generally what it's talking about over here, and it's just basically a kind of a big mountain pasture over here. It's kind of funny too. It even tells you like, "Oh, make sure that you turn the camera around, and you can drive directly into the camera at this angle," and just kind of neat. But yeah, if this was even like a month earlier, we probably would have made it just fine out to the Painted Hills. But it's the way it goes. We're just along for the adventure out here, right? So even if you know, the next half hour, 45 minutes, I can be somewhere, then you know, I could probably just shoot right home after that and be home, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock.
It's funny, this need to chase this grand climax of the day, feeling like you failed out on the mission of the day, and you still have to salvage it in some way. As I was cruising down the highway here trying to salvage this last opportunity, the moment was here. It can be so hard to recenter yourself sometimes and just let go of the expectation that was and absorb the moment that you're in. Little did I know, I had missed my turn miles ago. Once again, human error got the best of me, and here I was, kind of feeling like I had missed the opportunity. I tried salvaging it the best that I could. For a little bit, I felt that I had just dropped the ball here. Little did I know, far from it. I never actually saw these images until later, and I really thought that as far as camera work goes, I never captured it. But it still sent me home getting to see this view in first person from the windshield. Long after the cameras had turned off for the night, I drove home into this sky of just pinks and purples, and it was so vivid, and it was almost kind of nice not to have the cameras around, just me and the world giving me a show. I guess that a lot of times we forget about that, and if it's not Instagram worthy, it didn't happen at all, right? I'm glad that it happened that way. I look forward to many more trips to come. Thanks for following along.